Scott Pelley's interesting interview was very interesting. I listened to it. I didn't have time to cover it, but there were some key moments in this interview that were incredible. Key moments in this interview with the New York Times that openly revealed the depravity, the utter depravity that we suspected taking place behind closed doors. Here's one moment from it.
Barry Weiss sends an email to my boss, Tanya Simon. Two of the things in the email include, can we make the protesters look more violent? Now, I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the quote, but that's what was communicated to me. And the other thing was Renee Good's car. You need to describe her as driving toward the officer.
This is not news, right? Like, I mean, this is just straight up. Like, the news always does propaganda. We know this already, but this is like beyond the pale. This is a deliberate interception by a person who was brought into this position of power that they did not actually work for. Ironically enough, they are there specifically to be like, you have to lie because this makes our president look bad. You have to lie because it makes the MAGA movement look bad. You have to lie at the behest of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's ICE agents, Donald Trump's Gestapo. It's insane. And we knew this was happening because they were doing it at CBS, if you recall. Remember, at the time of the assassination of Renee Good, CBS aggressively was leaning into the notion that ICE Gestapo agent that shot Renee Good was actually not at fault and that he was actually harmed. If you remember, they were the only ones that came out with a report that said that the ICE agent actually was harmed. Now, we were fortunate enough to have actual footage, almost 360 footage from numerous angles that very quickly destroyed that narrative, but that didn't stop a lot of the dick riders of this administration, like Asmongold, from actively lying and going along with this bullshit. Be on the lookout for more of that. Dude, this old dude was a company man who thought he was too good to be fired. This interview pissed me off, man. Dude, come on, dude. Come on. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that this motherfucker spent, decades at an institution, okay? Regardless of my disagreements with 60 Minutes as an enterprise, you have to at least understand that this is a guy who was the highest ranking journalist in the room who actually got fired for speaking out against Barry Weiss's fuckery. He could have just not spoken out. He could have continued being the company man. And he demonstrated integrity. Whether that was integrity because he wanted to maintain the brand of 60 Minutes or not doesn't matter. What matters is he said the truth in that moment. He said the truth in that moment. And then he also went along and revealed the truth to the New York Times. Part of the reason why this is happening is because everybody hates Barry Weiss, okay? Let's be real. I know a lot of journalists. Some of them can get very petty. They all despise Barry Weiss. The reason why they despise Barry Weiss isn't just because Barry Weiss is a charlatan and Barry Weiss is a brown noser of billionaires. It's also because Barry Weiss doesn't deserve the position that she's in. And this enmity will only continue to grow. It's not just going to be about Barry Weiss. It'll be about dick riders of Barry Weiss like Brian Stelter or careerists that will glaze Barry Weiss regardless of what she's doing, regardless of how she destroys media properties at the behest of billionaires. Brian Stelter, again, worth noting amid all the coverage of Scott Pelley's scathing criticism today, according to a person with knowledge of the matter, Barry Weiss and Nick Bilton sought out Pelley for a private meeting last week, but the longtime correspondent did not take them up on the offer to talk. Brian Stelter is the guy I'm talking about. Look, we all have to eat, and I don't envy anyone who works at CNN right now, but this is so undignified. Be like Scott Pelley and don't be like this. Yeah, Brian Stelter is also on Dick Suck Mountain currently.
This is not what you see on the video. On the video, you see the officers standing slightly off the front of the car, and you clearly see Miss Good's wheels turned completely as far as they will go, away from the officer. But he shoots her in the head, kills her, and says something about her in that moment that I can't repeat in polite company. So we have gone out of our way in our...
Yeah, dude. Scott Pelley was at CBS for 37 years, dude. Almost 4 decades. It's ridiculous. You come in out of nowhere because again, you are a stooge of billionaires and you fire half of the staff. This is your life's work. These are the people that you have sometimes been in combat zones with, okay? Like, this isn't just, you're doing journalism, you believe in your mission. It doesn't matter if, like, at times, they're doing State Department propaganda. Ultimately, you're just trying to make ends meet. You're trying to make it work, okay? There's investigative pieces that are important that have come out of your operation, all this stuff. And then an outsider comes in because they are a servant of billionaires. And at the behest of billionaires, an outsider comes in and just fires half the staff out of nowhere. You're like, what the f-? And then you speak out and they fire you for speaking out. The media already is controlled by corporate investment and corporate interests. But this is beyond that. The direction of the media could be bad, and then this could be worse. That's what's going on here. The direction of the media was already bad, but now this new direction is even more hands-on, is even more egregious, is even more in your face with its propaganda.
Planned from the very beginning to show the protesters for the responsibility that they had. We had already scrubbed the video archives looking for those scenes, but it somehow wasn't enough for Ms. Weiss.
He has no problem with Barry Weiss. He's mad that she didn't do propaganda the right way. Okay, guys, I get it. You hate mainstream media, but you're out of your mind, dude. Come on, dude. He's literally saying, like, they wanted us to literally not report on what we could see with our own two eyes. I get it, dude. Yes, I despise 60 Minutes' coverage, especially as it pertains to Israel as well. You have to also remember the reason why this happened, straight up, the reason why this happened is because one time, I mean literally one time, CBS News and 60 Minutes covered America's weapons being used in the genocide of Palestinians one time. And that was enough for the Redstone family to be like, we're selling this property. This is crazy. I can't believe it. One time. The first time they engaged in a little bit of critical reporting. So what do you want me to do? Sit here and act like that's not significant? It is significant.
Video showed that the officer wasn't standing in front of the car and she wasn't driving toward him, but that's what the president said about that. And that's the way she wanted it described.